right, so in the second part, we're going to talk about the blocking, how you go from those main key poses that we started together and that I finished after, that I'm going to show you now, to those in betweens, to being fully on twos or threes. Okay, so we're going to go really from the beginning of this until the final end of the blocking on some parts, not everything, but at least so that you see, and then we'll take a look at how it fully finishes after that. Here are my main key poses. Okay, so a few things to think about. In terms of the rotate Y, actually, let's put it all in spline. Okay, in terms of the rotate Y of my body here, you can see how it rotates in the correct way, has the feet, etc., rotates the correct way so that I don't have any problem down the line when I'm going to start to spline all this. Okay. So I made sure as well that I moved the TZ of the body in a very clean way. The chest is only in rotate Y. The upper chest has a little bit only on the rotate X. The hips here as only a little bit. Same thing on the rotate X. Oh, in the rotate Z here, yeah, in this moment I put a little bit, but it's like pretty much nothing in the spine, okay? And in this part, remember, was when this was going back. It's the same as when we did it in this pose here. So really, all this is only happening with just the chest twist and body main control. All right. So how do we go with more in-betweens? So when I do in-betweens, I actually like to be using my things. Like I don't like to be in step and using the tween because sometimes it doesn't make it with the ease in and ease out. It doesn't make it right in the middle, where I think here it makes it exactly where the pose needs to be. So how do you define what are going to be your next pose? So I think from here to over there, there is this whole motion of him staying on that foot, and when does the foot goes off? So I think here around 9, this pose is going to be very important. So the one at 9 here is going to be important, and then the one around 12 or 13, before he arrives. Then here is, I like to usually do the anticipation or the before the swipe. So here somewhere at 22 is what we're going to put a key. And then when do we arrive? Somewhere around 26, I would put a key. And then in here, same thing, like around there would be a key before I move into the swipe. So let's go about it, okay? So there at 9. So what I do first is let's remove this old key here that we don't need anymore. So here at 9 up, I'm just going to put a key on everything all together. That leg here, this back leg here, as I can check in there, it stays almost in the same spot. So right now I'm just going to put it almost in the same spot, right? And the only thing that changes is basically the ball roll in this way. Then if I look, it feels like it shifts a little bit on the floor. So I'm actually going to shift it a tiny bit on the floor to here. And I also feel like it's rotating a little bit. So instead of rotating, I'm going to use the toe in and out roll that way to create a bit of that feeling that we see. There's also the twist here that goes down like that I can see in here. You can see how the twist kind of gets down there. For the front one, I feel like it's further forward, right? So I'm going to grab it, the TZ here, and I'm actually going to move it further forward. I think it's not only the TZ, actually, I think it's the whole leg that needs to get closer to the end part here. I think what's cool is it's actually rotating more and then coming back forward. So here I would do this kind of inward rotation on the rotate Y there like this a little bit in this part. Then he comes back out after. Well, then in terms of the body stays, in terms of the rotate Y, a lot more where it was. It doesn't go quite as fast in this way. The chest as well stays a lot more where it was. Then the general angle of the body, I think, is more this way. In here, I can see something like that there. And in here, it actually kind of do this and comes to the side, I think this way. So it's kind of countering that and this. I also think from here to here, yeah, it's coming down there. On the on that foot here that I have, the temporary pivot, I'm going to use just a little bit of that rotation in there to help for that. And I'm going to do less in and out roll so it feels that it stays more on the same spot. Right, let's check on the head. So the head here, actually, I can see in the ref, he does this thing here where it stays a little bit back. It's kind of an antic for that. Same with the neck. The neck actually goes a little bit this way. And there, that arm here stays back like that. And the hand does that. For that top one, it stays more into, it's like this. That leg, I think it's more into, yeah. Maybe I'm a little bit too far in here in the body TZ, so I'm going to grab the TZ and making it a tiny bit less far so that the angles match a little more what I see here. Same with this. Right, we're almost there. You can see how you can refine angles and angles. It doesn't matter if it goes in front of the face, etc. I think. Here I'm trying to get these lines and these lines to feel a little more natural. Okay, poof, that's cool. Then, as I was saying, there's going to be one before it arrives. Actually, for now, that's okay. And also here, before it moves, I feel like in all this part, like around 6, he stays on the spot and then he moves fast. So I think around 6, I would put a key on everything. So it's there. I put a key on everything. Okay, I feel like that back foot here stays fully locked, so it's going to not move as much. And just using some ball roll. The hands as well, and the arm here stays closer to where it was. So it's more like this, and actually goes slightly more out this way. I feel like even the chest kind of opens up. Oops, sorry, only in rotate Y, always only in rotate Y. And the head and the neck in there, they kind of are staying a little bit more straight like they were. Here, I would say the body doesn't go down quite as fast. I'm almost tempted to really keep it up a little bit longer before we drop. The more that you refine these poses, the more that even the one after or before can change a few things. I would say even this one maybe is a little fast. Maybe the foot here would stay slightly less forward in there. And then from 9 to 16, there's the moment where that foot kind of land at 12. So I'm going to do that key as well. That's very important for the foot to land here and the other thing to come close to that. So I'm going to put a key on everything on there. Go to this front leg here and have way less movement. So I'm going to go a lot closer to that. So then you have a tiny bit movement. I think in the body in here, same thing, is not quite as forward this way yet, especially when you see this angle and this angle. In terms of the rotation of it, it goes more like that. It goes more like this, and it turns more already in rotate Y like that. I think this is for sure. It's a little bit still more back than that. So if the TZ is more back than this, that means that even here it should be a little bit more back, and that maybe the foot TZ here is a little bit too far forward. I went a little bit too much. Okay, here it shouldn't be quite as much. Then the arm here is fully there. Where the hand here stays more like this. Then does ding. And here, that to me, the head and the neck already goes more deep down. And there, up. And here you can see this comes a little bit more forward. So I would say that one here, IK twist, more out, more rotation in, more in TX. You can see how this is a little higher. This is why it's cool again to have multiple angles, because you can try to get, you know, the best angle for everything. And again, here I'm only focusing on poses. Okay, this is not about movement yet. Right, is really posing and what happens in the ref, what leads, what follow in there, how it moves, etc. So I think with these right now I have enough. So I would go with this, putting it in stepped, checking it out. So let's keep going. You can also use that in Animbot, where it only shows you your poses and not the movement, even if your curves are in steps. All right, so here, as I was saying, I think, so I'm going to put a key in this one, like around 21, I think, and then one around 24 here, where he's in the air. So those would be my two in-betweens here. So I think 21 and 24. So for 21, the foot that is back should stay back. It would use the pivot of Animbot to kind of create a little bit of this only. With the twist of this. You can see how body as well go up. And here we can start to see the body here kind of going up with the kind of movement rotating here. To there. That arm here is fully straight, so it's like that, like this. Like that. And this one here is staying more to where it was. So I'm grabbing this and I'm making it more to where it was. And doing a bit of overlap. By the way, you see I'm not using a lot of shoulders or a lot of anything in there. I don't think it needs really that much. The more that you focus really on the important thing, like the body, the chest, the main arm, which is the FK main control here, I think everything else should work better. And also being more simple to control when we're gonna go, as you will see in the spline, etc. So here you anticipate that kind of thing, you know, with the head then into the down. So I'm just putting that up in here. There, it's not as much down, as much like this. I think this twists quite a bit, but not the top yet. And you can see how it's going up with the TY. So it's this kind of movement up. Same with the feet. It has a little bit of that toe here, roll here. I think the back one gets to the next pose. So he's really close to the next pose in here. Buff. So it's very fast. Here you can see the neck is also leading that movement. Boom, forward here. Then I'm going to check in there. Actually, the body is good in here. And so then for the hand, for the arm, is this. It's not as much yet. And this one too. Voila. Starting to get all of those and getting the thing that, boom, feels like strong. All right, 24. Here I would do one around 27 because you can see how the blade is almost there. So it's just to push the feeling of that sharpness in the blade as it's not there in my in-between. So that arm here would be going already a lot more there. Like this and down. And the one in the back, same I would say as well. The chest I think can be already more turned like that. And that back arm too, same way. Where's the clavicle? That you see you arrive sooner and it feels sharper. And also the down on the body here, I think it will help in making it feel heavier. The feet as well, getting down right away. And from there to there, you can see how the knee gets in. So I want to do that. Yeah. Well, here I had it almost all the in between. Let's add one more between these guys to keep that leg fully on the floor here. I think it's around 35 both, and then up both move. So I think here 34, 35. Let's go 34 since it's a little bit more in the middle. So on there, what's going to be important is for that leg here to stay fully there, locked. The back one, same thing. You grab it, you make it very, very close, actually completely close. And what we're going to do on there from hit doing that is making it fully on the floor first. Then it has a little bit of, when you're here on the floor, of a little bit of in and out roll. So I'm going to do a little bit of this. Well, like that it will feel. The twist is a bit big in here. Well, and here it's a little too much. Okay, so here it doesn't move. Here it shouldn't move actually. I don't know why I'm doing this, but this should stay exactly there. And should get some IK twist like this. And what happens in there in terms of the feet? It's a little bit of movement this way and a tiny bit of in and out roll that way. Well, that we feel a bit of the push. For the other arm, I would say this one would stay a little bit more back where it was. Yeah, somewhere there. But the hand in this kind of turns into that. Maybe a tiny bit of the arm too. Well, but it has that turning feeling to it. And for this one, it's leading slightly more the movement. So is this, and then that is more in the alignment. Here he looks where he's going to hit, and the neck goes into that. Voila. stepped. Let's check it out. The one that wasn't in there is this. Yeah, it's not in the picker, but I'm gonna add it there. Voilà. You can see the like that you have. To me, this is what I called my blocking that I showed actually to the supervisor without the ref. You know, when I'm fully like this. So I'm gonna open it right now. So when we look at it, we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 5, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 4. So I have some 6, some 4, some 2s, some 6, some 4s. It depends. It's wherever it's needed. And here for the turn, I really needed all that. So I went on 2s in there. This is what I show to my supervisor. Okay. When I show him this. Those are my main key poses, and in between enough so that we really understand the movement, but not too much so that you have too much to redo. So I think in there is the right balance, you know, where you don't have to necessarily do too much, but still get all this kind of like things that it makes sense without a reference, basically. After that, what we're going to do is we're going to put more in-betweens now to really finish the blocking, so we fully finish on 2s or on 3s. So here in the beginning, I'm like 5. So 5 is going to be divided here because we start at 1. So at 3 is going to be the right in between there. Okay, so what I do is I select all and I put a key on everything. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to check and see what is moving correctly, what needs a little adjust. And I think here I can fully see the body kind of going down in there. So maybe what I could do is kind of having this go up, you know, and keeping on that. There we go. What I can see as well is kind of the body keeping on going a little bit more in this way, actually sooner. So I'm going to push that. I feel like this leg moves a tiny bit too much. This is the correct one. Yeah, the blue one here. So I'm going to keep it slightly more here. So it starts, but not as much. I think the TZ starts quite abruptly right away. So I'm going to get this movement a little bit more forward from the get-go. Cool. And I check here the differences to see if the angles remain the same. I still feel like this moves a little bit too fast, the TZ of this one here. So this up, we could stay a tiny bit more. And maybe getting the IK twist to go a tiny bit more on the inside in there. All right, let's keep going. So then after, same thing here. I have another in between. I'm going to put a key. And the reason why I'm putting all these keys is to make sure that I extract everything from the ref. Like for example, in here, I feel like the arm is not doing that. It's doing something more like this. And here the hand is doing something more like this and up. And for the other one over there. And if I check actually here, up, I want to get here is not the same reference, you know.